In today's video, we will be discussing the IELTS Speaking Part 1 questions and 5 ways you can score a Band 9 for the IELTS Speaking Part 1 section. If you'd like to learn more about this, then continue watching as I will explain the importance of understanding the band descriptors for IELTS Speaking Part 1 and what type of questions you will see in the IELTS Speaking Part 1 question. Then I will give you some example questions and answers that you may see in the IELTS Speaking Part 1 and some of the top tips that I give to my students for this particular section. Just a little bit about myself. My name is Miss Wafa. I am a certified English teacher in Canada, and I've been coaching IELTS students for the past 6 years to prepare for the IELTS exam. If you'd like, please subscribe to my channel because I put out content every Friday with lots of strategies to help you in your IELTS exam. Also, please check out my website at eslwords.com, where I have written lots of articles that will help you in your IELTS journey. So let's get right to it. The first step to scoring a Band 8 in the IELTS speaking section, Part 1 in particular, is that you need to understand the band descriptors. So if you don't know what the band descriptors are, this is pretty much the criteria the examiner will follow. So the scoring that the criteria the examiner will follow to give you a band score. This is very, very important because you want to ensure you understand the band descriptors before taking the exam, okay, guys? Because if you understand what they are requiring from you, this will help structure your answers better, and so you are able to understand what they're looking for and you can provide for them. Also, the highest band you could get for the IELTS speaking section is a band 9. So let's take a look at the IELTS speaking band descriptors. So you will be scored for 4 particular parts. The first one is fluency and coherence. So this pretty much means that you will be marked on your ability to speak without any hesitation. So you don't stutter or you're not trying to ramble for words while you are trying to speak in sentences, and you don't repeat the same words. This is very important because I know you could tend to get a bit nervous when you are completing this section, but try to pay attention to that. And you will also be given a score on how you are coherent throughout your sentences. So pretty much how you connect your words together and how your sentences flow together and make the most sense. So this is very important for you to keep in mind when you are planning to give your answer for the Part 1 IELTS speaking section. The next criteria you will be marked on is the lexical resource. So this pretty much means the words and phrases you will say that connect to the topic of discussion. So you want to make sure that you use synonym language, idioms, and paraphrasing throughout your discussion to show the examiner that you understand the topic and that you are saying words that relate to the topic. This will score you a high band because remember that this is an English test and the examiner is actually looking for your ability to speak English using different word forms and things along this line. So next is grammatical range and accuracy. So you will be given a high mark if you don't make any grammar mistakes and you're able to speak different sentence structure types. Use of different sentence structures throughout your answer. As I mentioned, I have a video of this. I will link down below in the description box. Make sure you check that out because that will definitely help you score a high band. So, last but not least, you will be marked on your ability to pronounce words clearly and accurately. I always recommend, and I will recommend you guys as well, is that you need to use words that you are comfortable using. What I mean by this is do not use words that are challenging for you to pronounce correctly. Use simple words and to get your message across. That's all they are marking you for. They are not marking you for your ability to use challenging words, because this will score you a low band if you have a hard time pronouncing this particular word. So, in case you're wondering, what is part one of the IELTS speaking? So, as I mentioned earlier, the IELTS speaking has three different parts. However, in part one, you will be asked questions about yourself, your family size, your home, if you live in an apartment, house, how many bedrooms you have in your house, things along these lines. But I always recommend, or I always mention, that just because these answers seem simple to say, they are not just looking for you to directly say the answer. They are looking for you to speak in full sentences while you are giving your answer. And guys, this is what I'm going to help you do today. Like if they say, "What is your name?" You don't just say Tom. You have to speak in full sentences, because remember, you have to show off your English language speaking capabilities, because this is what the examiner is marking you for on this section of the test. So here on this slide, I've actually given you some examples that would score you a band 6 versus a band 9 in the IELTS speaking part 1 section. So let's go through these. What is your name? So for a band 6, you could say, "I have many names, but you can call me Mike Brown." And a band 9 answer for what is your name would be, "I go by many nicknames. However, my official name on my ID is Mike Brown." So the second one would be, "What do you do for a living?" For a band 9 answer, it would score you, "I work in the office downtown. I really enjoy it because the train goes directly to my work." And then a band 9 answer would be, "I am the business owner of Surplus Corporation. We manage the inventory at grocery stores and look after any supply chain inquiries they may have." So the next one says, "Why do you prefer to work at this company?" "Because I enjoy it and I worked hard to get to this position. Also, I really enjoy working in the office." And a band 9 for this type of question would be, "I enjoy working at Surplus because I worked hard to become a business owner. I pulled a lot of all-nighters to establish this business. However, being able to work for myself is the biggest sense of accomplishment." So as you see here, the choice of words I use are clear and related to the topics. I also used two amazing collocations that will help me score a high band. So, all-nighters and biggest sense of accomplishments. These words relate to the given topic, and it helped me flow the sentences together. I also didn't repeat myself anywhere throughout the answers, which I am showing off my paraphrasing skills throughout my answer. So these are certain things that you should keep in mind when you are trying to answer your IELTS speaking part 1 section. So let's take a look at the last one. Do you work or study? A band 9 score answer would sound like, "I am studying now in University of Toronto." However, a band 9 score would say, "I am currently working part-time because I am taking 4 classes at the moment at the University of Toronto." So if you see here, I've made a mistake in the band 6, which will not help me much and will score me a low band. That's why it's very important that you answer your questions in the right tense form throughout your answer, and you are able to say the sentence in an error-free manner. And also, you need to remember that because you are being scored on pronunciation, you need to practice your pronunciation. I do know as a teacher that a lot of students have a challenging time pronouncing W words, words that start with W versus V. So be sure to practice these types of letters because this will help you score a high band. So these are some IELTS speaking tips I recommend you consider when you are saying your IELTS speaking part 1 answers. You need to pay attention to sentence structures, and you need to be using the correct tense throughout your discussion, as I mentioned. You need to choose words that you are able to pronounce properly. Do not use words you have a difficult time pronouncing because this will score you a low band. And last but not least, you do not need to use difficult vocabulary that you have a hard time pronouncing, as I mentioned. This is very important because this is where 25% of your a speaking section, so you need to be cognizant of this. Last but not least, I have linked down below some IELTS speaking topics with the answers in my description box down below for all the different sections, which includes part 2 and part 3. Definitely check out that video because I will help you. The answers have been tried and tested and have helped lots of my students score a high band. So guys, if you like this video, then please subscribe down below and give it a thumbs up. And also, please check out my website at eslwords.com, where I have lots of other great resources that will help you in your IELTS exam. I really hope these videos help you because my ultimate goal is to help lots of people score a high band in their IELTS exam so they are comfortable with their families moving to an English-speaking country.